I would like to just go direct into the discussion and share the fact that most of the CSOs are, for example, in northern Uganda or in Uganda, mainly find a lot of complexity or challenges in the donor applications and due diligence processes. And we've actually, as the organization, experienced the fact that we applied to grant challenges last year in 2021, and we had a very tough experience with their grant application form, which was actually so detailed and very time consuming, and which was actually, to us, it was an organization challenge, because BNDU is a small organization that does not have a fundraising department. And as we were like a team reflecting on this kind of complexity of the application processes, we were asking ourselves, if all the funders were to ask local NGOs to fill out detailed applications like the one we had, then we think the majority of the CSOs, including Basic Needs or BNDU, could have actually been excluded from accessing a number of grants. And this actually implies that if we are intending to engage grassroots organizations, there's need for us to have application processes that are simpler, that actually caters for the needs of the grassroots organizations who actually lack skilled personnel. And you are aware that most of the funding applications are actually online, and also one of the biggest challenges that the small CSOs face is the access to internet and their ability to actually have these applications completed online. I would also want to share my experience with some of the donor requirements that we have actually have an experience about, and that was mainly on the letters of recommendations that are required from the government. One of the applications we submitted and were successful, we are required to submit the government letter of recommendations. And this generally, okay, it was not challenging to us, but this generally positioned CSOs in a more vulnerable state and provides the government with more power to control what type of work CSO should be doing and which donors should actually work with, CSOs should work with. And this could potentially limit also CSOs that haven't been in a good relationship with the government, or maybe if CSOs have been actually criticizing or critiquing government's work, it would actually put them in a very challenging positions to actually acquire funding from donors. We've also seen a number of things around the legal and regulatory limitations that also sometimes disable CSOs from accessing funding. For example, in Uganda here we have NGO policy that requires every CSO to register with the National NGO Bureau and then obtain a valid operating permit. And on annual basis, you have to fulfill tax and reporting requirements, of which any failure to do so would result into revoking of the operation permits. And yet there are times when we see a lot of inefficiencies in managing the process on the other hand of the government, which would actually result into like failure to acquire funds for, acquire funds from the donors by the CSOs. And that also really make it challenging for CSOs to access funding.